My name is Ed Fox, and I coach here at Ultimate in Charlotte, North Carolina. Ultimate is a game played by two teams of 7-on-7, and the object is to pass the disc to somebody on your team, and you can pass it forwards or backwards or sideways, whatever. You can't run with it at all, and eventually you have to catch it in an end zone for a score. And the scoring is done 1 point at a time, and usually games are played to, say, 13 or 15 points. First one to 13 or 15 wins. But anytime a pass is not completed, then the other team can pick it up and play play it right then. So the movement's a lot like soccer, scoring a little bit like football, and I guess the disc handling is kind of like basketball as well. But it's a non-contact sport in the same sense that NBA basketball is a non-contact sport. The two most common throws in Ultimate are the backhand, which, like in tennis, is hit on, if you're right-handed, on the left side of your body, as Chris and Josh are demonstrating now. This is the throw that most people know. You throw at the beach. And the other most common throw is called the forehand. Like in tennis, it's coming from that side of your body. If you're right-handed, forehand side of your body. This is a very useful throw. It can be delivered very quickly without much wind-up at all, and so you can get rid of it very swiftly. Now, a couple of specialty throws you might run into. One is called the hammer, which is like a forehand except released above your head, so it travels sort of upside down. And on a windy day, it's very difficult to throw that. But today, such a beautiful day as today, we'll have no problem. Now, like in basketball, once the thrower has the disc, he has to establish a pivot foot. So if you're right-handed, it'd be your left foot usually. And then you can move, as long as you keep the pivot foot still, you can pivot back and forth and throw the disc on either side of your body. Now he's throwing a forehand that will bank from right to left, and it comes back that way. One of the great things about the disc is that, unlike a ball, you can get it to do all kinds of strange angles and stuff like that. You can throw the forehand in what's called the inside out too, which is the reverse bank from there. You can throw the inside out where it breaks from more left to right instead of right to left. And you can do the same thing with the backhand too. You can get it to bank from left to right, or you can throw an inside out backhand, which is more of a right to left break. And a lot of it's going to depend on what the defense is doing at the time, and also your skill level too. Okay, what we're going to do now is demonstrate just a little basic defense that you'll see in game time all the time. The marker is the man who is defending the guy with the disc. So in this case, Eric is the marker, and Michael's got the disc throwing to Josh. There are a couple of marking strategies. For one, you have to be a disc length away, no closer than a disc length away from the thrower if you're the marker. There are other techniques too. Sometimes you want the thrower to throw it on one part of the field and sometimes other. What Eric's showing now is a force middle, where he wants the thrower to throw it to the middle of the field. The other thing he could do is force sideline, which would be to shift his body and force Michael to throw it down the sideline instead. And that way the rest of his team is playing accordingly according to what Eric is marking. There's even a third style of marking, which would be straight up, in which he's going to allow Michael to throw either forehand or backhand. Michael doing a nice job of pivoting too. Thanks, folks. I hope you enjoy this game, and it should be a good one.
Welcome to the Ramblewood Soccer Complex in Charlotte, North Carolina, where we'll see the finals of the inaugural Queen City Tuneup, pitting the University of North Carolina at Wilmington team featuring Red Russ and Trey Snow versus the University of Georgia team led by Crawford Shippey and Chip Ogborn. This is John Pearson here with my counterpart, Jonathan Broadhag.
Hello.
What do you think is going to happen today in the final?
Well, we'll see here. It's interesting to notice UNC Wilmington starts a pretty short-handed squad. They generally use a rotation of about 8 men, and Ultimate, of course, is a game played with 7 players at a time on each team, so it leaves little room for substitution. Whoops, there we go with a pretty quick turnover here. Second turnover of the game here.
We're into live action here, and there's already been a few turnovers. Looks a little sloppy. Maybe a few nerves, the first final of the year and the first major tournament in the country.
Definitely. And you also got to remember, too, John, that these teams have already gone through 5 games over the past 2 days. So their legs are a little bit tired, and they're still trying to readjust coming off of a short break from the semifinal games.
So after the trading of turnovers, we have the University of Georgia in their black jerseys working the disc up the field. There's a long huck from Heath Moody.
Looking to strike early here is Georgia.
And the score for Crawford Shippey, one of their captains. The observer there. We have officials for today. The head official is Alan Hoyle. You'll see him in a blue shirt on the field. And he is accompanied by linesman Ed Fox and Chris Rodning running the sidelines, calling the in and out of bounds calls. So after the first point, UGA takes a 1-0 lead, and they're getting ready to pull. That is, after they've scored, they need to send the disc down to the receiving team, which has just been scored upon. So once again, Georgia in black is pulling to the University of North Carolina at Wilmington, wearing yellow shirts.
You notice there that's a pretty long throw. Standard Ultimate Field is 120 yards long. 70 of those yards are the playing field proper, and then you'll see 2 25-yard long end zones on either side. The width of the field is 40 yards, so you'll see a lot of action today with widespread field. And there, it looks like the field is a little bit too long for the UNC Wilmington player.
Goes a little bit too far. Now talk a little bit about the game is to 15. Talk a little bit, Jonathan, about how you score a goal, how you work it up the field, things like that.
Exactly. Ultimate runs very similar to football in that you're looking to catch a pass from a thrower to a receiver within the end zone. Different from football, however, you're going to see that every person on the field can be a quarterback in that they can all throw.
A beautiful Mac there. Excuse me for the interruption, but off the little swing pass from Chip to Chris Vonix, got tipped on the ground on the layout bid, and he gets caught by another Georgia player. There's another turnover right away, but perhaps there seems to be a call in the field here. The players make their own calls here and then go to the official when there's a dispute. There seems to be an argument right now.
Exactly. You'll see on-field official Alan Hoyle there in the blue, mediating between the two.
Seems to be Georgia disc maybe. I think they're getting back into play here.
Let's see.
Sure,
I think so.
Yeah, they seem to be moving in that direction.
But again, getting back to the scoring here, very similar to football. The game is played to 15 points. We'll take a half as soon as one of these teams scores 8 points. Again, there's a bit more confusion on the field
here, trying to get worked out.
See the freshman there, Hugh Rickenbacker.
They seem to be very patient here. Georgia seems to work it up the field. There's Heath Moody with the little swing passes. There's another little dump here, using their main handlers a lot. Where so far we've seen Wilmington sending it looks like. They seem to be hucking it down the field, 50 to 70 yards or so to their faster receivers.
You'll notice Georgia in black uses an offense where when they don't see an open throw down the field, they're very quick to turn around and just throw a very short pass to the player behind them.
Yeah, they seem to be very patient in using the smart throws. Oh, there's a strike to the end zone, but not caught. Looks like a nice D by the Wilmington player there. Steve Masada was the target for Heath Moody's flick. So the turnover, they've traded turnovers again here in the second point of the game. Trey Snow walks up the disc up to the end zone line. Seems to be in Wilmington disc. There's a nice floater around. Seems to be
good area pass there by Snow to his co-captain, Red Russ.
Red Russ is a high count. Oh, there he sends it away. There's the impatient, and not even a receiver in sight. Seemed to be miscommunication. Not really any good cuts for Rhett to throw to. Just got impatient with the high stall count. You only have 10 seconds to throw it, and you know, he got up around maybe 8 or 9 and didn't seem to have a receiver. Maybe a punt, maybe a little field position here.
Sure, I would agree. Like John mentioned, the stall count is to 10. In other words, a player has 10 seconds with which to get the disc in the air thrown to a receiver. And if he cannot throw the disc within 10 seconds, he is effectively stalled, at which point the opposing team will regain possession of the disc at the point where the thrower was stalled.
Okay, back after the short pass, working with Crawford here, Jake Hammond, one of their veterans. And Chris Vonnegs. Oh, there's the long huck from Georgia even. Long throw floating a lot. Oh, and a nice D. Nice D by the Wilmington player, John Tringo, I believe it is.
I believe so.
And he immediately gets the disc working. Maybe a good decision with the defense not set yet. Georgia not ready for the turnover. They're working up the field. There's Rhett Russ, the captain, surveying the field. Gets around to Brian Gaines, one of the better athletes, and he sends the long backhand. Oh, this looks like could be pretty good. A little flow to it. Oh, no, but it's caught.
Here we go. Tringo even up the game at 1 apiece.
For Wilmington's first score. Maybe the Georgia player's hurt there. Maybe just pride. I'm not sure whether that's an injury or, didn't quite get there on D.
Could be both in this game.
Could be both.
Very well contested throw.
So we're on our way towards 15 at 1 apiece. Wilmington gets their first score in the books here, and they're ready. They're set to pull again with their defense set. There's a nice backhand from Trey. Georgia coming under it. Immediate start. Immediate get to Crawford. He gives a good fake. Here comes the defense. Gets set finally after a while. Long throw. Looked pretty open there for Chip.
Yeah, Georgia's doing a good job of spacing themselves out along the field. They're using the length and the width of the field to their advantage. Realizing, of course, like I said, that Wilmington is a bit tired.
So after a sloppy start, I think both teams maybe are starting to settle into this game, get the nerves out, get the butterflies out of the stomach, maybe.
The chemistry's coming back together.
Chemistry coming back, running hard, get the legs out, get the muscles working again after maybe a little break since the semifinal. Pretty relaxed here. He throws looks like a scuba upside down with a disc.
Again, you're going to notice here the UNC Wilmington team in yellow, they're trying very hard to force the Georgia throwers to only throw to one side of the field. In this case, they're really trying to force them to use their forehands, which would be the flick type throw that you're seeing used. But any time that Crawford Shippey, number 25, Chip Ogburn, or any of the other UGA squad members can get a throw to that other side, to the left side of the field at this point, is really going to be to their advantage because the UNC Wilmington players aren't stacked up to play that side of the field.
Okay, we're about 20 yards out of the end zone now. Georgia working it. Still working a nice, slow, patient offense. Still just maybe 20 passes so far this possession. They're not going for the big strikes here. They're being nice and relaxed. Sean Hassel with it, looks like to the end zone, and it's caught.
Shippey's second goal of the game.
Second goal out of 2 for Georgia already. The coach Cashin comes over to congratulate his star player, and they regain that 1-point advantage over Wilmington. Ready to play some defense. I think they're maybe doing some offense-defense subbing. Get the maybe faster players in there to play the man-to-man defense.
Exactly. Georgia goes a little bit deeper into their bench, which allows them to take some substitutions, make some effective substitutions, and give some of their more potent players a chance. Here we go with another huck from
immediate huck from Wilmington. Is it out? Oh, just out of reach. Oh, that's a gorgeous bid by Tringo. I think you might have been able to get there, but just a great effort,
definitely,
by number 8 Tringo. Didn't even look. It's just a very contrasting style here of offense. The Wilmington player, he walks up to the pole, didn't even want one pass. He just sends it to the end zone. Where Georgia here, maybe more relaxed, maybe more in control of this game right now. There's Moody looking up the field, showing flick, yeah. And again, they take the long look and the long fake, and then they just wait for the nice under.
Mm-hmm. They're waiting for.
Oh, there's the run by, a nice run by the Wilmington player.
Will Jenkins.
Will Jenkins gets the nice D run by, maybe a little bit faster than the man he was guarding, than the Georgia player he was guarding.
This is a clutch possession here for them, John. Wilmington's very close to the end zone. Are they going to be able to act accordingly?
Oh no, and a miscue. Maybe just out of his reach, but gets a hand on it and just drops it. Just maybe not focused. He should have had that, I think. He really should have, I think.
I think so.
A nice simple swing from Trey to Brian. Should have gotten it going, then I have a nice look at the end zone, and instead, a turnover. Here's another long huck. Oh, and a good deep. Trey makes it up there, maybe. Yeah. He knew he just maybe caused the turnover. Maybe it wasn't his fault, but he gets back with a long 60-yard sprint down the field and plays a good hard D on the freshman Steve Masada.
And that's what a captain has to do. Has to pick up the slack for his team.
Now here it is again. There's not too much movement here from the Wilmington players. There's a nice bid by the D by Georgia. You saw the full extension, full speed. Well, here they come. Up the sideline. I don't see as much movement from the Georgia players, but they seem to be able to go up this sideline. Georgia's forcing them, trying to get them out of bounds here on the near side.
Yeah, Wilmington's really not doing too much to create any offensive opportunities. They're very limited here. towards the sideline, not doing too much to try to get it off and use the width of the field.
Very close here, see if they can get it tied up right on the end zone line. Oh, a nice touch pass.
Very nice
Came
look.
around, I think the defender stopped playing defense thinking the man was out of the play. Nice little touch pass using the good 25-yard end zone, using the back corner of that.
Burfield able to float it.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. If you're just joining us, you'll see here the score is tied 2-2, Georgia against UNC Wilmington at the finals of the inaugural Queen City Tuneup here in Charlotte, North Carolina, taking place on a gorgeous February Sunday out at the Ramblewood Soccer Complex. Some good college ultimate to be had this afternoon.
Looks like a foul call. Georgia goes right back to their nice patient O. Wilmington with the aggressive marks on defense, right in everybody's face, trying to get the turnover, trying to force the disc onto the ground, or maybe the interception.
UNC Wilmington historically has been known as a very scrappy, in-your-face defensive team.
There's no. Chip strikes back with the long huck to Crawford. Looks like it. Oh, is that in bounds? I'm not sure. It's real close. I don't see a signal yet from the referee. Looks like Wilmington is showing me that it is a score. Yeah, it looks like a score. It looks like Georgia reclaims their lead, 3-2.
Excellent run by Crawford. Way to toe it in the line there.
Looked like kind of an end around. He got the swing, and then he kind of just took off, and on the long sprint was just faster than his man.
And the two veteran players there hooking up from Ogborn and Shippey, they've played with each other long enough. They understand, both their capabilities as throwers and receivers.
I think Georgia has a good mix so far right now. They're mixing in the short game and with the long game. Where Wilmington, they're struggling with the touch passes and the shorter stuff, the little 5-yard, 10-yard stuff.
I agree. And yet, the game's still very close.
Yeah, we've had
trading points.
2 ties and no lead changes yet because Georgia's been up there, but never more than a 1-point lead. There's a nice bid by the Georgia player. I believe that's Dan Wolf. Another nice bid. They're just bodies are flying. Georgia really wants it. They really want to get this D in. Wilmington staying composed, holding possession of the disc. There's a long throw, long backhand
to the corner. See if
Might
Gain
be there.
can toe it.
Ooh, I think he dropped it
Calling
anyway.
up, but no, I think he was
No, I think he knows it wasn't. Yeah, that didn't look too good. Crawford was beat though. I think Crawford was beat. The throw just wasn't there.
Yeah. Far
Just barely
linesman.
out of bounds.
Far linesman Ed Fox ruling that indeed the throw was out of bounds.
Crawford here taking his time, maybe getting reset. I think that they really put a lot of energy into getting that stop, getting that Georgia, running hard, bodies hitting the ground, full speed type stuff.
And also it gives Coach Cashin a chance to reset the offense. And yet here you go.
Here we go. A little miscue by the throw, I think, by Crawford. Just barely out of Chip's reach, and it should be an easy score for Wilmington.
It's a vital red zone opportunity. Can't
10
afford
yards.
to have a miscue within 10 yards. We'll see
There's
how
no movement. There's no cuts. I don't see a Wilmington player moving. There's another end around. No, it works again.
That time with the strike.
Heath Moody got a nice bid in there, but that touch pass.
Brian Gain getting fired up here with the end zone strike.
I think the Georgia players, they run really hard. They're trying to get that first stop, but then it seems like they're laxing in the nice little floaty stuff. Wilmington's able to run under it, get the score.
Yes.
Very effective. 2 effective teams in the end zone, in the red zone, I'd say so far. Although there have been some miscues, a couple drops already, and just little timing mishaps. But Wilmington ties it up at 3-all. Although I felt at first Georgia was in control. Maybe it's not maybe undecided here. Neither team really showing their stuff here. There's too many mistakes for finals, I'd say.
Yes, right
Looking
now
kind of sloppy maybe.
a little choppy in their play.
Get the swing around. Georgia likes that quick movement around, with a wide open man after the first throw. Right away get another throw. There's a nice break. Oh, and a drop.
Again, you could question that. The throw was a little bit off. Maybe a little bit too close to the ground, a little bit farther away, but here's a second drop with a player who has his fingers on the disc.
Yeah, and really,
and they know
the
it.
throw wasn't perfect, but I think that should have been caught. So now Wilmington see if they can take advantage. Keeping possession. I think they're starting to settle in. Wilmington settling in after those first, kind of centerways, kind of ugly play. Oh, there's a nice bid by the freshman. Wilmington looking, they're knocking on the door to take their first lead of the game. And there it is, I think 4-3 Wilmington. Their first lead, they're really fired up here.
Back-to-back goals here from the UNC Wilmington squad. We'll see if this doesn't give them some momentum here at 4-3.
And able to capitalize on that luck, They didn't really maybe deserve that turnover, but, as soon as they got it, they marched it right down the field, take their first lead, see how Georgia responds in the hole for the first time. Receiving the pull. Crawford with a good fake, still being nice and patient. Nice break there. Nice backhand break to get it.
Hands down,
chip.
Crawford Chippy is their best handler. He's going to do
There's
stuff
the
with
long
the disc.
send. There's a long send to Docks. Oh, it's out of bounds anyway, I think. I think that was well covered by the Wilmington players. There were 2 yellow shirts and 1 black, you know, and especially with the out of bounds right there, it's just not going to happen. Maybe not a wise decision by Chip.
No, I agree. He's becoming a bit impatient. And again, you know, that happens in big games. Players want to make a statement quickly. They want to go ahead and get that strike out of the way and put some points on the board, and sometimes they'll do it while also sacrificing.
Here's the send right back. It looks really open. Rhett looks really open here. Beat Chip a lot. He had to ISO up that sideline. Now he's about the 3-yard line, just barely that. There's the flick for the score to Will. And now there's a 2-point advantage. That's 3 straight by Wilmington.
Yeah, Jenkins looks fired up here. Again, you know, you got scores from Gain and Snow and Jenkins, and all 3 of them. Coach Garrett comes out to congratulate his players. Really feel that there's a change in the tide here in this game.
Finally, someone's, you know, started to take control, you know, play with the fire that they should be playing in the final. And, you know, Wilmington with the 3 straight goals now, their first 2-point lead of the game. You know, they send the pull down to Georgia. See how they respond. They didn't respond well the last point. Jay Hammond. Oh, there's another huck. I don't know if that's the answer. But, you know, just a near, you know, drop, maybe in the hand. I don't even know. You think that was D? I didn't
It looked to me like it was a clean D from my perspective.
Clean D? Okay. I don't know. It looked like it might have been in Crawford's hand. I think he was reaching out for it, just didn't time it right.
Regardless, it's going to be a matter here of Georgia playing some defense.
Yeah, either way, Wilmington gets another advantage here. You know, they got another shot to take another goal lead. Go up 3 goals in this final.
It's one of the most exciting aspects of Ultimate. Runs a lot like basketball in that as soon as there's turnover, you know, play just continues and goes on.
There's a good 40-yard pass. Wilmington staying settled, though. You know, they get a big game. They're staying settled. I think they're really playing in their game right now. I think they're using their abilities really well. Trey, the captain, watching the field here, being forced towards the sideline. You know, staying relaxed. There's the other captain, Red Russ. He's with the green toboggan on there. There's the flick around. Oh, and another goal. You know, he beat his man. He goes to the end zone. 6-3. We're seeing a big turn here. You know, where I really thought Georgia was being patient. They were the ones in control in the beginning. Now it looks like
it's definitely 100% UNC Wilmington's game right now. Look at that, double the score, and that's an early lead that could really prove to be disastrous. The men's team from the University of Georgia.
Oh, nice high backhand from Trey.
There's a lot of
it's out of bounds. So let's see what Crawford and his boys can do here to respond. Now they're in a hole by 3 points, but they do get a little break here with the out of bounds pull. They can take their time.
Yeah, remember, John, in the official rules of College Ultimate, we've got 20 seconds from the time that the pull lands out of bounds for the players to reset on the field. There you see some other spectators in the crowd today. And you'll see the on-field official there in blue, Alan Hoyle, counting out that time.
Okay, now they reset here. They get to run their first set play of the game. And here they come. It was Crawford to Heath first. Now back to Chip, one of their big men. Now the freshman, Steve Massar. He's playing real well for a freshman, I'd say.
I agree.
You know, he's running hard.
It's a big game.
So far. It's a big game for him. Chip, they're working it real well here. There seems to be a call.
I believe
that was some kind of call, travel maybe, or a pick.
I believe it was a pick called. Similar to basketball, picks get set in Ultimate, but unlike basketball, a pick is illegal in Ultimate. In other words, if a player obstructs another player from being able to cover his man.
Oh, what is that? Excuse me, Jonathan, but that was a drop. That was in the, you know, he knows. He's mad.
Yeah.
They worked it down the field beautifully. About 8 to 10 passes, get it there. The easy catch. Yeah. And his Moody should have had that. I really feel, you know, that should have been their strike back. It should have been their recovery from the long run by Wilmington, and now they just give Wilmington another chance.
I mean, he had the 4th goal in his hand. And here again,
another turnover. So many mistakes. I don't know. Neither team is, you know, I thought they were settled in.
At that point, Rhett Russ was actually landed out of bounds.
So the immediate turnover, Georgia, and they're right on the goal line again. There's the backhand. I believe that's Jay Hammond. I'm not sure there, but that's a score. He was wide open. You know, both teams are unsure. You know, a little bit loss of composure, but they'll be all right here. It's 6-4. Georgia looks. They finally struck back. You know, after 4 straight from Wilmington. There's the pull. Wilmington, let's see if they can keep their momentum going. I think they still have the momentum there. You know, it's 6-4 with a 2-point lead.
Again, we're playing to a half of 8. I think it's to Wilmington's best advantage to just go ahead and get these 2 points out of the way. As we've seen, their legs aren't as fresh as the Georgia squad. They're going to really need that halftime they can come out with a big 4-point lead to take the half.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And then
gonna
that's
be very
a
advantageous.
good 10-minute break, grab some water, and then they'll be back with fresh legs. But let's see what happens here. There's still, it's not halftime yet. It's still only 6-4.
There's definitely a lot of game left.
Although they have settled in, Wilmington's nice O, being patient. Good mark there. Oh, there's Tringo. Number 8, you see, he's watching. I'm not sure what he can see. He's looking up the field. Good mark from Crawford. Oh, he sees the mismatch. That's nice. Burfield, the shorter player on the
Easily
6'4" Burfield.
Easily had 4
That
to
was an
5
easy
inches.
one. Yeah, that was a good choice, I think, by Wilmington. They worked it all the way up to the red zone, just 20 yards out, able to see the taller player, and just put it up there. Just take the mismatch. When you have it, it's so much easier. So now they're 1 point away from taking the half. That'd be a big 4-point lead would be really good for them, I think. But here's the long pole.
And again, they're just making the realization that instead of trying to force the throw and force the receiver to catch a disc that's way out of his reach, they're just putting it to people that they know can get 2 hands on it and make an easy grab.
Okay, so here's now the relaxed Georgia offense. I think that after they had the miscues and everything, all the mistakes that they had that gave Wilmington the edge, now they're kind of back into their game, being nice and relaxed, short throws. Oh, there's the D, a poach D in the lane. Again, the tall player comes across.
That was Ulsterson.
Ulsterson comes across. He sees that the pass is going to go into the lane. He comes off his man. He leaves his man, and there's a timeout. I think a wise decision. 15 yards out of the end zone.
Very wise.
Chance to take half, a 4-point lead at halftime of this final. I think that was a good decision, a good captain's decision. Red Russ there. What do you think Garrix is going to come out with here for a play? He's going to have a good play here?
I think so. In Rhett Russ, of course, who has to retain the disc off of the timeout. He's got a veteran player that's got some throws. He's got some agility. I wouldn't be surprised if they look for Russ to get a real quick throw off and then look to just have a give and go right back to him. But again, Coach Garrix, he knows his 8 players. He knows where they can play within themselves. Might look for maybe a break throw right off the turn.
Georgia, are they going to get the fire here to get the stop? I don't know.
We'll see. Georgia's facing, a halftime deficit here if they of 4 points if they get scored on.
How does the timeout work? What kind of time do we have here for the
players are given 90 seconds for a timeout.
Okay, maybe get a quick play in from the sideline.
Yeah, it's real quick.
Water.
There's not really much time to diagram a play. Usually timeout. Usually, end zone plays like this are already scripted through practice, and literally, probably Coach Garrix just went in and said, has a number like play number 3, and said, listen, we're just going to run play number 3. Maybe dictate who those players should be on the field that should make the cut. We'll see here. Back to live action.
Back to live action with Russ here.
There's the break throw.
I'm not sure what happened. Is it caught? Oh, he's signaling a goal. Ulsterson's up. No, he puts it down. I don't think it was. It must have hit the ground first, or maybe there seems to be confusion again.
Yeah.
A very quick backhand break from Russ would seem to be the play.
Yes.
Ulsterson was there. He got a hand on the disc. I'm not sure whether it hit ground first.
Yeah. Again,
Massara was there with a bid on the ground.
He thought it was right up in there.
And Hoyle rules a turnover, so they don't get to capitalize. I think that the timeout was the wise decision, but they don't finish the play there. So now Georgia, the chance to get one more in before half, maybe. Chris Von Eycks with this dump, nice and patient. Crawford looking upfield. He's clearing out. He's directing traffic even. God, he's really controlling this team and doing a really good job. Jay Hammond on the swing, 22. They're looking real good here. And you see the Wilmington players. Oh, there's a long huck.
He's Moody, Crawford.
There's 2 Wilmington players. Oh, a nice D. I think that looked like a nice D from Tringo.
It's the second time, though, in these recent series of points that we've seen a Georgia player send it to a teammate who's already double teamed into the end zone.
I think there's a call from the field. I believe there's a foul call. Yeah. Crawford's called a foul. I think he was arguing that his hand was hit on the play, like maybe he had it in his hand and it got hit out of his hand, or when he went to reach for it, the Wilmington player hit him. There seems to be a dispute here. I think the Wilmington players don't agree with the call. I don't really agree with the call either. What do you think, Jonathan?
No, I think an end zone play like that, it looked pretty clean to me. And there's going to be some contact in the air. Some of the rules of ultimate, that they're a non-contact sport, in that you can't really hack a player when you're going up to grab the disc. But there, I think that was just the course of the game. It's natural contact. Unfortunately,
there's a nice break, and there's a score. The officials uphold the call. That some may argue one way or the other. Wilmington kind of upset about the call, but you get breaks sometimes one way or the other.
It's just the way the game
get a break
flows.
Later in the game.
They're going to have to keep their heads up and just try to stick this one in.
So 7-5 here. Georgia's responded a little bit. See if they can get another one in before half when one of the teams hits 8, we'll go to halftime, 10-minute halftime.
And halftime should be pretty exciting. We've got a recap of the women's final, which, ironically enough, pitted the exact same two teams. The University of Georgia's women's squad against the ladies from UNC Wilmington. Got a chance to catch a little bit of that game, and highlights look really, really good.
Here's Wilmington working down the disc. They received the pole that time to take the half, try to go up 8-5 at halftime. Again, that would still be a nice lead for half. Working down. Oh, I think that was a point block.
I think so.
Yeah, that's a big momentum, I think. What's your thoughts on that point block from a freshman, too?
Well, just to recap for those viewers that might not be familiar, a point block occurs when the defender who is guarding the thrower actually touches the disc and hits it down. Yeah, in that case, it was Hugh Rickenbacker. And again, here's Georgia really saying, we're facing halftime, we're facing a 3-goal deficit, but we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it come easy. And you know, they're right back in it.
And now they're even getting their nice open cuts, I think.
This is what we've seen earlier in the game.
Wilmington's very tired, I think. There's a good 10 yards between the players, where the Georgia, you know, we see most contested. Oh, that looked like a foul to me. I think that, again, Hugh, who just got the D, now he's back in making good, solid cuts, you know, especially for a freshman. He's a nice, tall, athletic player.
And there's that Georgia in-your-face defense. I mean, excuse me, Wilmington's.
Yeah, here comes the there's the throw. There's the dump off. I think, yeah, there's the dump reset. That's a nice play. I think that's to Massar. And to Crawford here with the swing around, a nice backhand. They're about 30 yards out from the end zone to try to close the gap to only 1 point. Jay Hammond with Crawford still at his dump. See what we got? Oh, that's a nice grab. Again, that's, you know, he's playing hot.
Yeah, Rickenbacker is playing well for a freshman.
See what he's got. Caulfield on the mark there. I think he's going to get real aggressive here. I think that he sees that he's not very experienced. There's a break. Oh, near miss. I think that was, you know, a turnover good. It looked like a pretty good play, though, but just not quite there. Not quite the connection to Chip. Oh, so Wilmington gets a break there. Now they got to go about 70 yards to score. And
we'll see how hard these.
Oh, nice bid. That's a good bid, but nice patient O from Wilmington, waiting for the open cuts, using their advantage, using the 4 or 5 top players, I think, to their advantage. There's Moody on the mark on Jenkins. Being nice and patient, nice swing around, keeping it in the hands of the experienced guys. I think, you know, they're using the young guys for the cuts. Theirs looked like a strip. I think the defender knocked that.
Snow definitely had the disc in his hands before it was knocked down,
which is an illegal move by the Georgia player. Oh, nice catch with the falling. I think he might have tripped him. I think the Georgia player tripped there. He's looking for the field. Oh, there's a long flick. Oh, it looks like 2 Georgia players, and it's tipped. Oh, and it's D. 2 Ds by Chip right there. There were, you know, just like kind of a crowd, kind of a 500 disc. And there's a long huck by Chip. Oh, again, no one. Impatient. Yeah, I don't know what kind of move that is, field position. I mean, I don't think they played good defense, so why would you play? Wilmington walked it 70 yards up the field. I just don't see. Maybe there was miscommunication. Maybe we didn't see the cutter.
And you see that. You see Coach Green cashing there towards the bottom of your screen, the jeans on, pacing the field, you know,
seems
up and down now.
Yeah.
He really wants his kids to work hard here for these final points
in
the
the
first
one more
half.
in, I think that would really close the gap here. But here's Chip, see if he can make it up. He's on the mark there.
And that matchup there, watch that matchup for the rest of the game. The Chip Ogburn against Rhett Russ. Those are their 2 deep threats for their respective teams.
There's another long send from Trey Snow, the captain, to, oh, what a sky.
Wow.
From Tringo. And he throws it,
Oh,
he throws it away. How often do you see that? I mean, Tringo got up over 4 players, and he comes down just outside the end zone, and then he just throws it away. He didn't concentrate. What was he doing? You know, Brett put in a great bid, I think, but, you know, it was just too much.
Could have been an easier put.
Could have been much easier. Could have been an easy score. Take the half, you know? You're standing outside your goal line. Why not take the half?
They're just, you know, they want it to end so quickly.
It's getting sloppy here. I think that's the 6th turnover of this point.
They really could have used a timeout.
Yeah, a timeout would have done it, I think. Right
Each team is allotted 2 timeouts per half. We've only seen 1 timeout called all half.
Oh, there's the long...
To no one, again. These
Moody
players.
puts in a long run. I think it's ugly.
It is.
You know, both teams may be tired. I mean, I see a few hunched over, you know, and
some players sucking wind here.
I'm sure there may be a calm field, but it's just gotten ugly. Let's see, you know, can we just please go to half, and then, you know, maybe next half they'll come out all right, come out, regain their composure, regain their, you know, a little bit of water, a little bit of food, get their energy back. Let's see what happens here. Wilmington, this is their 4th possession at this point. You know, now it's getting easy. Now there's nice easy cuts there. Nobody's going even full speed. There's Rhett up the line. Oh, a nice grab on the ground by Brian Gain.
He's had to make a few of those today.
It looks like a travel call. Looks like Gaines got up and walked around after he caught it.
Yeah, player's not allowed to pick up his pivot foot, or upon receiving the disc, the player's not allowed to take any steps with it other than those steps needed to slow down. And I think that's what the call was there. That Gain maybe took a few extra steps.
Nice bid there by Chris Bonnigs. There's Will Jenkins up the line with the freshman on him. And he gets it to the
To Tringo.
to Tringo. He's looking to the end zone. And he paints the sky with a 30-yard hammer. Oh, what a grab.
Nice
That's a
grab.
grab by Trey Snow. That's stepping up the captain.
There's
When
Coach
he's
Garrix.
moving all over the field, the captain steps up, great hammer put. And then a great grab, over the taller player. I think that's a great way to take the half. Maybe they'll come out stronger, maybe both sides will come out stronger. A good finish after an ugly point and an 8-5 half.
Yeah, we'll see after we take a short break here. Again, at halftime, we've got UNC Wilmington up 8-5 the University of Georgia.
We got t-shirts and vests in the shed.
Final University of Georgia against number 2 seed UNC Wilmington. Both teams went undefeated prior to the matchup, easily defeating their lower-ranked opponents en route to a showdown in the Queen City. The UGA squad reached the semifinals of last year's national championship and returns many members from the 1999 campaign. UNC Wilmington captured a national title back in 1996. This year's team returns after a series of rebuilding years, hungry for its first championship in Charlotte. strong effort from both teams this Sunday afternoon, but in the end, Georgia prevails over UNC Wilmington with the final score of 15-11. Look for more action against both these teams as we continue through the spring en route to regional and national championships.
Now we'll take a look here at the men's brackets. 12 teams started on Saturday morning, each playing 3 pool play games as determined by their preceding. 8 teams qualified for the quarter Sunday morning. ECU versus State in a hotly contested quarterfinal, and UNC Wilmington over Duke. Then Wilmington was able to take the semi over State to advance to the final, as we're seeing here.
On the bottom half of the bracket, you see Georgia advancing over Virginia, and number 1 ranked team after Saturday played UNC Chapel Hill, defeating Georgia Tech. In the semifinal, Georgia scored an upset against UNC Chapel Hill to bring us to today's matchup.
If you're just joining us, we're at the Ramblewood Soccer Complex in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're about to start the second half of action. We got University of North Carolina at Wilmington in yellow versus the University of Georgia in black. Wilmington was able to finish the half on a 35-yard hammer from Tringo over across field, take the half 8-5 with a 3-point advantage, and now they've received the pull. Here comes Wilmington walking through. There's a long strike from Trey.
We've seen a lot of this.
Oh, what is that?
Again, another drop in the end zone. It's happened a few times today already. Tringo obviously disgusted with himself, and hopefully he'll make it back here on defense for his team.
So now Georgia takes over the possession here, moving from left to right. They're taking their full 20 seconds to get the disc up the field as Hoyle is counting it off, the head official. That's Jay Hammond, I believe, walking up, or now jogging up the disc, and with Will Jenkins on mark, and he's looking to dump right away. Gets it to Crawford Shippey. He's looking upfield. They're starting to go backwards. Now they're moving up. Heath Moody, number 1, in the tan shorts.
Interesting to note that Crawford Shippey of University of Georgia, he either threw or caught all 5 of Georgia's first half scores. So he's definitely an integral part of the offense. We'll see if he can retain that role and maybe even increase his role in the second half, as they're going to need some offensive firepower combined with some defensive stops to close that 3-point gap.
This has been some nice patient. I've seen, 7, 8 passes already. They've hardly moved the disc, but nice and patient. As long as you gain possession, you can take as long as you want. You know, Heath Moody there looking upfield. Again, they look to dump it. I think it's real smart. I think they're doing real well. I think that Coach Cashin has calmed them down, said, hey, we're in the finals here. This is the second half. Let's get it together, play our offense, play our game, and here they come.
Again, using that reset.
There's a nice break. Oh, nice grab on the tip. I think he tipped it to himself, Masura did.
Yeah.
There's in the give and go to Hammond. There's a long flick up to Chris Vonix, and there's
a goal.
Score. He is. The linesman signals goal. Not a quick strike. A nice long possession after the D from Georgia. Makes it 8-6. Able to get back. I think they've cleaned up their game. I think maybe both teams have. They're getting ready to be fired up after a very ugly point before half. They're both ready to go. Georgia signals that they're ready for their defensive set. A long pull. Here comes the pull from Crawford. Actually, it's kind of a short one here. Low to the ground. Here comes Trey. Wilmington gets to reset their second possession of the half. They still have a 2-point advantage. See if they can recover from what looked like a pretty solid point that Georgia won in the last one.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Wilmington try to send another strike here.
Russ,
as
one of their
characteristic of their play. Generally speaking, Wilmington, unlike Georgia, when they have to have a lot of short passes, they really try to go ahead and put one in the end zone.
The Georgia players are looking more fired up than they were last half, and they're running hard. They're only a few yards behind the defenders, if not in front of them. They're just trying to break. A nice mark by Crawford. Nice swing. Wilmington's looking for the strike. I think they're just swinging. They're keeping the disc alive, but really looking downfield. They all seem to be looking for the 40, 50-yarder. There's a nice grab, a little tip, a little mishap, but he keeps the possession. There's the break finally. There's maybe the upfield break that they've been looking for. Tringo looks upfield. Watching. Oh, cover. James he puts a long backhand. Oh, and Trey. Oh, got over the defender. Another touch pass.
It was a nice throw and a nice completion, but I can't say for sure that it was planned.
Yeah,
it really looked like
it was a high count. It looked like
a high stall count, and he wanted to make sure that he put it in the end zone to at least give them a shot at scoring. Yeah. And Trey, with a good sense of field awareness, was able to snag the disc.
Looks pretty good. Now Georgia gets their second possession. See if they can go 2 for 2 here in the second half. There's Burfield on Crawford. That could be the big matchup here for the next couple points at least. Oh, nice bid. Oh, it looked like a pretty good bid. Maybe a little bit far away, but Sean Hassel able to make the grab. Coming up the field, there's number 9 making it up to Crawford. Here comes Burfield up on the mark. He's still looking. Oh, a nice break backhand. That was smooth. And
very smooth.
Hugh Rickenbacker able to make the off the great backhand. It looked good. It looked like Hugh did something, but I got to give credit to Crawford there. Real nice backhand there with the break.
Yeah, it was very nice. He created that score for them, definitely.
Yeah. The Wilmington player was trying to force Crawford to throw a flick, and not only did he throw a backhand, it was a beautiful one right to that cone. It was gorgeous. I think. Good timing, everything. Now Georgia, to see if they can get the stop here. They stopped him once out of their 2 possessions.
And also, I think that Coach Cashin realizes that the squad that he has on that started the second half has got pretty good, is gelling pretty well here. I don't think, from what I've seen so far, it doesn't look like they've made a substitution, John, in the second half thus far.
Both teams, I think, are running a little bit harder than they were in the last half. They're seeing that, we're getting down. It's 9-7, game to 15. Oh, that's a nice bid. That was,
The last game of the weekend. They've got nothing left after
might
this.
as well use it all out here on the field. It looks like there was a call. I think there might have been a travel call.
Again, Will Jenkins might have picked up his pivot foot on the throw, causing a reset here.
Being guarded by Hassel, number 4, on the Georgia team. Jenkins still gets the dump off. Looks like there's a forced trap by Chris. Looking up line. Oh, nice bid. Oh, nice placement, though. I think Trey placed that real nice. The Georgia player just couldn't get to it. And there's Crawford. Oh, just over his reach. Oh, what a placement.
With the grab.
What a throw by Rhett, just out of Crawford's reach. How did he know,
There's 2 good throws in a row.
That was just a gorgeous throw by Rhett,
Very nice.
Does he know how high he can jump? Just barely out of his reach. That was great. Ulsterson gets the score. Wilmington's starting to get fired up. Garrix was out there firing the squad up. They got a 3-point lead. See if they can close it out. A couple more points, we'll be looking down the last stretch. So let's see Georgia respond here. 10-7. They're in a hole. They're down 3 points. The largest. That's the most they've been in the hole.
It is. It's their largest deficit thus far. And I mean, if it continues, it's going to be game over real quickly.
Yeah, they really got to respond here. Hassel looks upfield. A good hard mark by Brian Gain. Gets the dump off to Crawford. They're really being patient still. They're in a hole. I think some of them you'd think would get anxious, but they're being patient. They're being smart, taking the easy stuff.
This is this Georgia team. They've gone through the fall. They didn't quite live up to their preseason expectations, so here they find themselves in the spring.
It's Crawford with a scuba to the freshman Hugh, and that's a good response.
Hugh scored. Rickenbacker there scored all 3 of their goals thus far in the second half.
That's a good response, I think, by Georgia. They kept their composure. They want to stay in this game. Maybe just like 1 or 2 Ds here, and they're right back in it. It's I think this could be a big point here. If Georgia can come down, play hard D. I don't see them yet. They're coming in. Here comes Black. Here comes Jay Hammond up on the mark. Chris Bonig's over with Trey Snow throwing the flick. That looks like the matchup that Georgia's going with Masura and Russ there. I don't know about that. Oh, there's the run by. They do get it. Dox Homner, he gets the run by against the Wilmington player. He was just faster that time.
Yeah, he just good anticipation, capitalizing on the slower legs, the tired legs.
Oh, I think he was grabbing his shirt. I saw some of Shippy's shirt kind of getting pulled around him. I'm not sure what Ulsterson was thinking there.
It's a very, very physical game, and realizing.
Space, I think he was trying to gain an advantage, maybe a threat there. What's he gonna do? The high count? A hammer. The hammer break over to Chris Bonix.
Very
nice throw by Crawford. And at 10-9, I think that the momentum's starting to shift.
Yeah.
Georgia's in a hole, but a nice run by D. It gives them a 25-yard or so to get the score. Now they're within 1.
They rattled off 2 goals in a row. You're right, John. It's looking to be a bit of a momentum swing. We'll see, though. I mean, still, I think Wilmington. They've got the lead. It's a close game. I wouldn't say that the momentum is completely shifted in anyone's favor right now.
Oh, there's the long huck. There's a long huck from Trace. Oh, nice D by Masura. Well, that's the matchup I talked about.
Yeah, there it is. Masura coming up huge on the deep threat there. Rhett Russ.
Wow. The last point I talked about the matchup, I didn't think that that was going to do it for him. And that was going to do it for Georgia, but sure enough, comes up big. That's that freshman out there playing.
Yeah,
that's a nice play.
Scrappy play.
That's a nice play. I think that's a good contribution there from Steve.
I think Georgia realizes that their offense can be patient, but their defense absolutely cannot afford to let anything slip. They've got to do their best just to come out as hard as they can, leave everything out on the line.
This is nice work by Georgia here. Being nice and patient. Got 3 solid handlers up there.
It's a nice break mark there.
Nice throw. Jay Hammond's wide open. He's coming strong. See if Steve can hit him. No, he doesn't seem to get it to him now. Steve's still looking. There's Heath Moody. There's a long flick. Oh, what a grab.
Oh, nice
the
grab.
captain chip. That's a great layout.
Veteran
Left-handed.
move, folks.
Left-handed. You know, some say he's old and he's too big, but, you know, that was a great grab. That's, you know, as good as we've seen today.
That could be the difference. That's 3 goals in a row. They just rattled off on them.
Oh,
Look
there's
at
the
UGA
Georgia
women on the sideline.
championship.
They know. This could be it, folks. This could be the turning point that really marks something special for Georgia. Again, now look, I mean, they've played 20 points, and what does it mean? Nothing. It's a game to 5.
I see some Wilmington players, they're starting to keep their heads down. Let's see if see if they can respond. I mean, I'm not sure, you know, they haven't shown the composure yet this half, but let's see what happens with Wilmington. I think Garrick's, you know, he was out there yelling for him to get better. After this point, take the nice O, take the easy stuff, and get smart. You know, there it is, you know, they're starting to move the disc. You think they're going to respond here, Jonathan?
I'll see. You know, we will see, for that matter. Again, this is Wilmington's point to lose. They picked up the disc. They definitely have shown us throughout the game.
Here
we go. Get used to it. Uh-oh, I don't.
Like a D.
Nope. Oh, man.
Was that up? Was that Calker? That was gorgeous.
It was. That was really
That's
nice.
Maybe what they needed.
There they go. They're
That's
answering
got to
back.
be motivation. That's got to be fired up. Look at them. They're
That's
coming
probably
on.
the 2 best goals in the game.
Yeah, so far,
back
definitely.
to back.
You know,
Everyone
I'm
realizes.
excited now. You know, getting to 15, it's coming down the wire. 22nd point of this game. Wilmington off the gorgeous Mac. That's the second one we've seen today. One for each team. You know,
everyone's stepping it up a notch. There's no question that either one of these teams, you know, wants to win the tournament here. They're both very capable.
Oh, a mistake too. There's a Georgia mistake. Jay, you know, their nice patient O didn't work out for him. The player came across. I think it was Burfield. I think it was came across to his right. Was able to get the swing. You know, Jay Hammond just made a mistake. Just, you know, lack of focus there. Might be just for a second.
See, if I'm Wilmington right now, I'm calling timeout. I'm screaming timeout if I'm Coach Garrett.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a red zone opportunity.
Composed.
They've shown that they can score on the red zone opportunity, and definitely, you know, their legs are tired. It's the key point of the game. You know, if they're to get fizzled here, they just need to be striking that timeout.
I don't think Garrett agrees with you there. There's the strike from Russ. And I think he's in.
Yeah.
That's Gaines. I think that's a 2-point lead. I think that Wilmington has responded. Yeah, the observer signals that it's a score. Wilmington comes back out with a 2-point lead. I thought that they were cooked maybe. Were they done?
You know, 2 points ago, they were looking like, you know, they were just
Heads
kind of
were
struggling.
down. Yeah.
Here they are. I mean, there's no question here that all 8 guys that are, you know, key members of this team are sucking wind right now. But it's all right if they can just hold on for a couple more points.
And they want it. You know, they got the experience out there. They've been out there a lot.
Yeah.
But I think some of the Georgia guys have been out there too. We'll see. Battle of the legs, maybe the conditioning. Which team has got the better conditioning at this point of the season? There's the long
Crawford's
huck.
definitely testing that conditioning.
Oh, there's a big battle. There's the matchup. Oh, and Chip wins it. The 2 tallest players. There's the flip. Ooh, an ugly flip, but he gets there. A little shady on the throw there, but Moody's makes the goal. A nice grab. Are the 2 tall players on the team? Was that Ogburn versus Russ?
Yep.
Ogburn wins that matchup this time.
And it definitely was a contest between just, you know, jumping ability, because the huck wasn't really put to an area. It was right in either player's hands.
I like this action though. I think it's picked up this half.
It definitely has.
You know, we had some. Well, as soon as I say it, there's a mistake. You know, Trey's looking the other way. I'm not sure what was going on there. It hit him in the shoulder. So, you know, I don't know which one. Whose fault is that? You know, I guess it's just the not knowing each other. And there's the score, tied up.
See Coach Fox over on the sidelines there. The far linesman signaled the goal.
Another score by Rickenbacker.
And they're back to trading points.
It looks like streaks again, you know. Nice 2-point streaks in a row by each team.
Georgia women getting fired up there.
Once again, the Georgia women are responding. Coach Cashin was able to keep his team composed, play hard defense. They got the break with hitting Trey in the shoulder. You know, not what you'd expect from this top team in the finals at the end of the game, but, you know, sometimes things don't go their way for Wilmington then.
The worst thing Wilmington can do right now is put blame on a single player. They just have to, you know, realize that they have good team chemistry and stay with that.
See if they come back. Are they going to put another streak of their own on? Here comes, it looks like there's 3 players. It looks like a homing.
It does. It looks like just 3 players trying to control the offense right now, with the other 4 yellow shirts staying farther away from the disc. They're trying to use more experienced throwers.
I think Georgia did that well, though. I think that they did a good job, you know, getting maybe a poach D off, something like that. They got a nice D. Running, maybe they're running a little bit more, too. I think Georgia, you know, I feel the momentum is in Georgia's favor right now. They're running more. Oh, my. He hurls it to the end zone, a long hammer. Try to take advantage. Nope, just out of reach of Chip. Would have been an amazing grab.
I tell you what,
something else.
I tell you what, Ogburn has come through, you know, clutching these past couple possessions for them as far as strikes in the end zone, but, you know, he's also not 11.5 feet tall, and that's what it would have taken for him to put a hand on the disc.
I think maybe a little impatient by Crawford. I think, I mean, you know, obviously if that had been a score, it would have been even more momentum for Georgia's way, but maybe you just take your time and you get it in there. So now Wilmington got a break there. I think that's a lucky break for Wilmington after they, you know, they had an unlucky break in the last possession. A long throw from Russ. Oh, a nice grab over Jay. Gaines right over Jay Hammond. And
there's
in the end zone.
Wait,
no?
It looks like, yep, there's the timeout that they've been looking for.
That's what maybe, you
what
know,
I'm talking about right there.
Maybe Garrick's called in from the sideline. Maybe Gaines was just thinking there for just a second there. You know, I think they're about 3 yards out of the end zone. They're right on the striking door to take their lead, 13-12.
We'll see what works out for them here.
This is our second time out of the game, both called by Wilmington.
If you're just joining us again, you've got a tie game here, 12-12. Collegiate ultimate frisbee here at its finest at the Ramblewood Soccer Complex. It's the first annual Queen City Tune-Up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, games being played at 15 this afternoon. And we've got the University of Georgia with 12 points and its rival, University of North Carolina at Wilmington, also with 12 points.
Georgia's in black here. Taking a second. They got 90 seconds, as we said before. Grab some water, get a set play, get your defense set, make sure that the matchups that you want. I think Garrick's is going to again call a set play to try to get this last 5 yards into the end zone.
And you see Coach Cash in there for University of Georgia trying to get his squad fired up. He realizes it's an important point, and with the right amount of defensive intensity and anticipation, this could easily be a turnover.
Yeah, this could be big here. Either way, I think a score, a nice lead for Wilmington, I think that's big. And if they get the turn, I think Georgia's going to capitalize. So we'll see what happens here. What Garrick's has called in, they don't have a dump. Right now, all 6 of his receivers are upfield from Brian Gaines.
Looks like they might be trying to isolate someone here.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. We got Crawford up close, Masur on D. Oh, and there's the wide open player.
I think Tringo, wide open. Very smart call.
Maybe a freshman mistake. He went on the fake, I think, from Tringo. Tringo fake break, came across on the open side and makes it an easy throw and an easy catch and a 1-point lead late in the game.
Definitely.
We're coming down late here. Georgia gets a chance here, gets a possession right off the pull. See if they can put it in. Wilmington looking tired, but they're still hustling. Crawford's got it, looking like they were able to make a set play,
Chip,
up and down.
See
nice
Chip
up and down
Ogburn
work.
there. He made his cut as if he was going to,
There's more.
run to the end
by
zone.
Hassel. Nice up and down work, I think.
Exactly.
I think they're being nice and patient with a nice fake.
Doing a very good job of pretending like they're going deep, and then they'll cut right back in for the easy score.
Some 5 or 6 of those. There's a long flick to Docks. Oh no!
Oh,
In his
Hogner.
hands. Oh, you should have had that.
How many of those have we seen today?
3, 4 goals that we've just dropped.
And I don't think it was a question of legs, because he was running the whole point.
Yeah, I think that was a really good set O for Georgia.
Maybe.
But then they get to the end zone, and if you don't score it, what good did it do?
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't ready for the angle. Ogburn's throw there was a little bit bladey, but at the same time, like I said before, 2 hands on the disc. He had them. He had both of his hands on the disc.
So maybe just a little mental error. Maybe it could have been better from Ogburn, but I think it was
see
a
if
little
he
mental
can't do
error.
anything.
But there's the turn right back. So it's Georgia catches a break off the Wilmington turn. So Chip picks it up, gets it going right away. There's Chris Vines looking upfield. Nice fake, getting it. Oh, a little high break. What is that? That's pretty ugly.
But nobody home.
No,
Looks
I
like
think there was a pick call, I think.
And you hear Coach Garrick's there urging his player John Tringo to run because get that deep. Anytime there's a pick called on the field and the throw still goes up in the air, it's still a disc in play. And if Tringo is able to follow Masada there and knock the disc down, it would easily.
Ooh, another ugly play.
Another
ugly throw by Vonix. I don't know what I think he's not very focused. He had
also, we don't know for sure.
In 2 possessions, maybe nervous because of the pick.
Didn't look as though Georgia was offering much offensive opportunity. Stall count might have been high there.
I still think he had the dump, and with the way that the other players in black have been, moving the disc and using the dumps, I think that might have been the better decision. See here what happens. Russ on Ogburn. There's the huck. And Shippey makes a D. A low huck. I think the count was high.
As we've said, it's going to come down, I think, to Shippey's experience combined with
nice
ability.
throw.
And there it is.
I think that Vonix just made up for that with the throw to Hassel. A nice flick around, a nice goal. Georgia ties it up at 13-all.
It's a game to 2.
It's a game to 2 here. Georgia, they're starting to get fired up. I think that their substitutes, the players from the sidelines are coming in, and the women, sure enough, they're getting fired up, jumping up and down. They're ready for this. I think that the legs of the experienced players, the guys in the field, they're ready. They're ready to run hard. They're ready to play some defense, see if they can get the turn, see if they can get the 1-point edge. There's the long throw from Crawford. Yeah, he's a beautiful puller, I think. That's a real nice one.
It's a good advantage, too, that Georgia has on defense here. And here they're Wilmington starting off in their own end zone.
Yeah, 85 yards they got to go.
80 plus yards they have to march.
Oh,
up
almost
the
a
field.
D by Moody. That was a nice play on Moody, and that's an interesting matchup there with.
Yeah, with Russ on Moody.
Yeah, I don't
Definitely
know
he's giving
about
up
that choice,
a little bit of the vertical
you know,
there.
he almost got the D there. You know, it almost paid off once again. You know, we questioned it before, and maybe it'll work again for Georgia. Well, I think that's a travel call. Crawford, the experienced player, sees Ulsterson's foot moving, sees that left foot moving. Just like in basketball, it's a travel call. See what Crawford does here. Seems to be a little argument. Well, had to go back because he traveled. Okay, now Crawford's looking fired up here. See what they can do.
He's got a very active mark. Notice the hands are really moving back and forth. Another call.
Another call. I think Crawford's arguing. It must be, if he's arguing, it must be a foul call or something like that.
Yeah, I think Ulsterson's saying that Crawford was encroaching too much upon his space. Again, a
I don't
player
know if
has
I
to
agree
give
with that. I think he's trying to take advantage
diameter
of
of his.
Yeah.
Here we see them trying to sort things out with the on-field official, Alan Hoyle.
And I think Hoyle has ruled in favor of Crawford. I think that, so the count's going to stay up around 7 or 8. I think it's pretty high. Ulsterson's in trouble here. This could be big for Wilmington. Gets the throw off. But now there's another call. It was completed, but there seems to be another call.
I think you're right, John. I think the count might have even been higher than 7 or 8. He might have stalled him there. We see Coach Garrick's. Yeah, I think that's
it's a
what it
turnover,
was.
a big turn here. Hoyle upholds the foul call. I mean, the foul contest.
An excellent mark there by Shippey to go 10 plus seconds there.
A good solid D. Good, and must have been good D downfield also from Georgia, running hard, getting ready to play. Now nice patient. You know, they've switched. They switched the mode from the hard D, hard running D, man to man. Oh, nice grab. Nice grab. The nice patient O. Chris Vonnies with a nice grab. He's making up for his mistake.
Oh.
Well, there's the score.
Wide open.
Shippey.
Crawford Shippey.
Wow. 14-13.
And that's the way to do it, folks. Reward your defender with the goal. You know, again, like we just saw there, you know, it was defense that paid off, so you might as well hand the strike to the person that earned it for you. And here, Georgia faces game point.
Yeah. I think that's their first lead since 3-2. You know, it's been a long time. Georgia finally back up on top.
I agree. There have been a couple ties, but no lead changes as of yet. And here we go, finally, Georgia.
Wilmington, now the pressure's on. You know, if they turn it over and Georgia scores, the tournament's over.
Yes.
You know, Georgia wins. So here, what can Wilmington do? Can they respond to this, you know, hard D? Momentum's in Georgia's favor. Wilmington's got to stay focused, stay relaxed. You know, take the easy stuff like that nice easy pass. Take that, you know, keep the disc moving up and down the field, left and right. Yeah, sure enough, you know, Georgia's good D is marching them backwards, but Wilmington, I think, is being wise. They're taking the easy stuff, and, you know, they're not just sending it. I think before, you know, in the first half, they would have just sent it down the field, not focused at all. But now that, you know, you can see the connections, little 15 to 20-yard stuff. Oh, a nice bid by Moody. Now they're on the doorstep. Now they're going to tie it up at 14.
Again, you know, possible chance for a timeout.
Yeah, it's looking kind of ugly. They've been forced up the backhand side, but they've responded.
Oh.
There it is. Oh, a nice bid, but a score. 14-all, and the player congratulates. Good sportsmanship there.
There we go.
Looks like overtime, Jonathan.
Yes.
14-all.
In the overtime session, we're going to play a game of 2. You're playing win by 2. The game will definitely be capped, however, at 17. In other words, if neither team is able to spot 2 points on the other in the overtime session, it's going to be the first to go to 17.
Okay, so Georgia has the advantage, right? They're receiving this first pull, so they get the first shot at striking.
Right.
First shot at the lead here.
Again, they're looking for a 2-point lead will secure a victory here. So right now, both teams are playing to 16.
There's the pull from Gaines.
Again,
See what they do. I think is that Dox? Yeah, Dox Homer's throwing to Crawford. See what kind of strike they do. Are they going to walk it? Are they going to send it? Oh, there's some wide open players, so I guess they might as well walk it, huh?
Looks like they're coming, with maybe some sort of set play. There's a lot of open field space here.
See? Yeah, keeping the dome, keeping the disc active.
I think that's actually Jay Hammond.
It is. You're right. I'm sorry. That is Hammond. Gets it around to Moody. You know, they're being nice and relaxed, I think. I think that's good composure. It shows a good, solid, you know, good practice.
Oh,
there it
Homner.
is. There's the long
Looking
flick.
long.
The Hammond. Oh, and there it is. Lead in overtime. 1 point lead in overtime. The observer signals the score.
It's a very nice grab. I mean, you
It's
know,
a nice look.
an excellent, defensive play by Trace Snow, but just out of reach.
I think that it might have lulled them to sleep there. You know, a lot, 15 throws or so, back and forth dumps, nice easy stuff. And when they get 25, 30 yards out, that nice flick over the stack made a nice easy score for Jay Hammond.
Georgia sidelines, the men are clearing the bench to come congratulate the players. And of course, we saw the women there cheering them on as well. And there's the There's a
Wilmington player. Are they going to respond? Now we've seen this before. It's 14-13. Georgia was pulling with a chance to win the championship. Now here they do it again. We see Garrix. Is he going to do it? Is he going to get him fired up?
I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying, listen, guys, it's the last point of the weekend there, if I read him correctly. And he's saying what we've been saying, what we've repeated constantly throughout the game, and that is that there's no game after this. This is the end of the weekend for both teams.
Might as well win, huh? You might as well.
Exactly. Might as well put out whatever you have.
So let's see how they respond here. I think that last time they walked it up the field, if I recall, on the backhand, they were getting forced trap on the backhand side. Got good 8 throws at the line, and then the last little tiny one to Snow with the defensive bid even there. So now Georgia's setting their defense. I assume they're going to come man-to-man. We've seen man-to-man the whole game without any zone.
And again, we've seen some unusual matchups with respect to the height of the players. We've seen some shorter Georgia players guarding some taller UNC Wilmington.
So let's see if Wilmington can maybe take advantage of that. We'll just stay relaxed here. So here's Wilmington. Count's getting high.
Looking
there's
long.
The huck.
There's the Snow
There's
backhand.
the long huck with Shippey. And Adams, that's nice play. I didn't see that.
Shippey just skied Chris Jaffe there, and it was really no fault of Jaffe's. He's got a good 6 inches there on him.
I just didn't like that decision. What is that? Snow should have known better.
It seemed as though the stall count was going high.
Yeah, maybe playing field position, see if they can get to stop you. But you're facing elimination. You got Shippey falls. Oh, that's a nice catch.
It is.
I think he tripped on the dirt or something, maybe on Jaffe. A nice grab, breaks with a nice scuba around. That's 4 or 5 of those scubas we've seen from
Shippey alone.
Yeah, from Shippey alone. Yeah, Georgia is they're going to win by walking up the disc. I think they've decided.
Right. But if they become impatient, it's going to be anybody's game.
Nice touches around. They're really using everybody on the field well. They're using the whole field well.
Look at that, wide open.
Yeah, they're not
Georgia player.
Yeah, Hammond is not. Gaines is too tired. I think that they know that they can just run them. I think they got the legs left. They're almost there, about 20-yard line now. Looking, there's the freshman. He's had a good game, I think. He scored 4 or 5 goals. Had that nice point block in the first half to keep him in it.
Quick throw.
There's Crawford being forced to flick with the easy mark. Jaffe, again, an inexperienced player. I think he's
looking bright.
Oh, that's a Georgia strike. That's the game.
That's the game. Heath Moody. Ed Fox signals a goal, and there it is. Here's your final score.
The Georgia women come on the field to congratulate him.
Oh, an excellent example of a team that can come back, that can just bite the bullet after a halftime deficit and play a hard-fought game. And you have to give credit to the UNC guys.
I really enjoyed that second half. I mean, it was much fast-paced, much fewer turnovers. I think that both teams played good, solid ultimate with good, solid defense and smart throws.
And very indicative of what Atlantic Coast ultimate is. Very, very tough, hard defense, some patient throws.
So it's a Georgia sweep here at Ramblewood Soccer Complex in Charlotte. We see both Georgia teams winning the championship on this beautiful Sunday, both celebrating here together, Good sportsmanship. I see, shaking of hands.
There's
the players.
Let me point out there as we watch the guy, ultimate MVP there, Crawford Shippey, shaking hands, that after tabulating the stats here, it looks as though Shippey has either thrown or scored 11 out of UGA's 16 goals. And that's just, that's literally dominating in college ultimate. If you can have that much of an effect on your team, it's huge.